Boys and girls, welcome in. As we get ready to rock and roll, we get ready to set these drivers loose. Qualifying about to get underway here for the Throttle Down Motorsports Enduro Series, live from Lernerville Speedways. These drivers all ready to rock and roll. They're ready to go to battle here this evening for a wild night of racing action. They're waiting patiently here to be set loose out onto the racetrack for an open qualifying session. They're going to have the opportunity to get out there and run some quick laps, trying to put themselves in the best position possible for today's events. As the A-Main feature event will get underway here in just a little bit. Qualifying is got to happen first, though, and that's what we're getting ready for. You see these drivers all getting lined up, all getting ready to go to work, go to battle here this evening. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a good time. Where is Jeremy Akins going? He's trying to join the track here from the pit entry, not the pit exit, so an interesting strategy out of the 57 ride. Yo, Joycelyn coming in, showing the love. Joycelyn says, yo, what's up, Joycelyn? Steve, Mr. Stefanski coming in, showing the love. How are you, Steve? Steve says, let's get after it, boys. Let's get after it, he says. Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski, you know it. Absolutely. Gonna get right into the action. Things are about to get wild. Things are about to get crazy here this evening for the Throttle Down Motorsports Enduro Series from Lernerville Speedways. Things are about to get crazy here. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of fun, chat. Let's go, baby. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, let's get it, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button if you're watching over on the YouTube channel. As we get ready to rock and roll, we get ready to set these drivers loose in just a few more moments as qualifying gonna get underway, and things are gonna get cray up in here. As there you go, they are set loose. They are out on the racetrack. Each and every one of these drivers looking to lay down a very quick lap time, looking to try to put their car up in victory lane. As every one of these drivers right now looking for the best qualifying lap they can get here to set themselves up for a wonderful evening of racing action here today. And it starts right now. Everyone doesn't think that qualifying is a big thing, but qualifying out in front, not having to work yourself through the first little bit of carnage that we may see out there on the racetrack and not having to pass as many cars right at the get-go could help you out a ton here, whether it's tire saving or tire management or just trying to keep yourself out of trouble and not get tied up in big wrecks out there on the racetrack. You want to be towards the front of the field, up and out of the way, and trying to just keep yourself out of trouble here all evening long. Rob Stefanski coming in, showing the love, says, how you doing this evening, Aaron? Good luck, Stefanski boys. Rob, we are always doing good, brother. We're always doing good, especially when I get to see you people up here in the stream watching all these drivers get ready to duke it out and go to battle. Aaron Smith, Rob Stefanski, both coming in with the thumbs up on the broadcast as well, coming in, showing the love here in this one, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go here in just a few more moments. As qualifying, open qualifying. Definitely an interesting way to get things done, but definitely gets all these drivers out onto the racetrack. You get a really good look at what everyone's got here this evening. You see the 4 ride out there on the racetrack. That's Hayden Wooten out there on the track. Hayden Wooten out there. Charles Davis in his 50 ride out there on the racetrack as well. Jeff Kendrick in the 333 machine looking for a good run here in the Goodies 333 ride. And you see Dustin Benton, the big D machine of Dustin Benton, the Precision Auto Bodies number 34 ride, the Throttle Down Motorsports team leader here, the man with the plan, the master man here on the evening, looking for a good run, a good drive here in his, his Enduro Series paint scheme there, looking fresh as always on the racetrack. See Aaron M29 right there as well, just going up and off the racetrack. You see the 822 T-Jack out there, looking to go back-to-back here this evening, looking to pick up another checkered flag here in the series, as that Black Diamond Mafia Majula Say Speed Shop, KC Speedworks, number 822, the shop, Fergie22.com ride, looking fresh as always, as T-Jack looking to have himself a great run here tonight in this one. Steven Stefanski out there on the racetrack, his muscles in his Throttle Down Motorsports number 15 ride, currently third quickest here in qualifying. Lon Franks out there on the racetrack as well, the DWR iRacing iFlag JRE machine of Lon Franks rolling out there onto the track. We see William Hargraves in his Dirt Panda Malum Electric. Joy Ride Designs, Viv's Liquor number 71H looking for a good run. Ryan Howard, Richard Cairo out there as well. That's actually Bo Cairo in the 14 ride, looking to have himself a good run in the iRacing Dirt Memes. BCR Sim Products in number 14 machine, looking for a good run here in this one. Jackie Whaley in his iRacing iFlag DWR JRE machine out there on the racetrack, currently 10th quickest. Then we see Chris Peters, the other fellow Canadian, out there on the racetrack in his TNT Racing Simrap Market McConey Setup Shop number 23 ride, looking for a good run here in this one. Jacob Stefanski, good to see Jacob back out there on the racetrack in his Sunrise Racing Throttle Down Motorsports, and number 32 looking for a good run here as well as that number 32 machine, currently 12th quickest here in qualifying, as Brian Taft, Johnny Nolan also out there on the racetrack. Kelly Parker in the 77 ride. We see the 134 of Jason Zilmer, the 57 of Jeremy Aikens right there as well. Cameron Stefanski in his 92 machine out there on the track, looking good, looking strong. Aaron Martin out there in the 29M machine, looking for a good run here. Aaron M29 over there on Twitch, looking to have himself a great run here this evening as well. Troy Owenby, the Jags number 9 ride, out there on the racetrack, currently in the 24th position here. In qualifying, only one driver has took a qualifying lap so far, and that is Glenn Townsend. Is Townsend not out on the racetrack yet, as Kara Billy Tabor coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Billy? Billy coming in, smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast as well. How are you, Billy? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Monday. It's trying to get rid of those Monday blues, you know, those Monday blues. Everyone having to go back to work, having to go back to the Monday grind, and hopefully this can give you a little bit more sparkle and shine here, knowing that at least you get to finish off the Monday with some good racing action here all evening long. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're ready to rock and roll here. We're ready to set these drivers loose. This main feature event is going to be absolutely insane. 4 wide start here, 4 wide start, no caution flags, 125 laps of racing action. And it's going to be crazy. You see this racetrack already starting to slick off. We're going to see that track get reworked. The crew is going to go back to work here as they're piling up here on the front straightaway. My gosh, I don't know what was going on over there, but everyone piling into that little pile up right there in corner number 2. So we'll see all of them try to jump back out there again and keep on rocking and rolling. Michael King coming in with that like on the stream. How are you, Michael? Michael coming in, smashing that thumbs up, as well as qualifying coming to a close here. These drivers ready to rock and roll as the crew is going to go to work. They're going to set this racetrack back up to 0%, and we're going to see these drivers get lined up 4 wide. But it's not going to take very long. 25, 26 cars loaded into the sim here, ready to rock and roll. And it's not going to take very long for these drivers to knock this racetrack down and make it black and slick just the way it is. And that's where it gets very, very hairy. That's when it gets very scary out there on the racetrack. Tires fading away here, 125 laps. I'm expecting to see some tire blowouts, some tire failures. And then it's the big thing about if you can stay on the racetrack, especially down through quarter 1 and 2. That back straightaway into quarter number 3 is very, very treacherous. We see a lot of drivers go up and over the banking, and you can go way, way down the hill, down off that back straightaway, and it's a long ways down there, and if you have bad tires, you may not be able to get yourself back up. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this is going to play out, as each and every one of these drivers are ready to rock and roll. They're all ready to go to battle. Here is qualifying coming to a close. Tyler Jackson with the quick time here in qualifying, and that's going to put him on the pole position here for the A main feature event. So T-Jack out in front with Dustin Benton, Lon Frank, Steven Stefanski, and William Hargraves rounding out our top 5. Dakota Proud, Dylan Simmons, Ryan Howard, Richard Cairo, and Jackie Whaley rounding out our top 10 here in this one, as top 10 looking very, very stacked. Johnny Nolan back there at 11 with Jacob Stefanski, Chris Peters, Brian Taft, Kelly Parker rounding up the top 15, Jeff Kendrick, Jason Zilmer, Jeremy Akins, Hayden Wooten, and Cameron Stefanski rounding up the top 20. Aaron Martin, Evan Stefanski, Charles Davis, Glenn Townsend, and Troy Owenby rounding out our top 25. It's 25 drivers going to get ready to go to battle. 25 drivers going to get ready to put in the work here this evening for 125 laps of racing action here from the beautiful Lernerville Speedway. And this is going to be a very, very exciting show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Woo! Hang on to your seats here as things are about to get wild. 4 wide start here as well. Fresh tires, fresh racetrack. We're going to see some crazy fast lap times at the front of the field being laid down. Drivers are going to have to try to be on their A game, especially if they're starting deeper in the field. You got to be on your A game. You got to keep yourself out of trouble here, and you got to try to just give yourself that extra little bit of an advantage going in to this race with trying to just lay down great lap times and keeping yourself out of trouble. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go here. We'll get them lined up here. 4 wide for this start. 4 wide out there on the racetrack is Bionic Man coming in, showing the love. How are you, Bionic Man? Coming in, showing the love. William Hargraves, Just Viv coming in, showing the love as well with the thumbs up in the broadcast. I appreciate you guys coming in, showing the love here in this one as we'll get them lined up here down the back straightaway. There you go. You see T-Jack, Dustin Benton, Lon Franks, and Muscles. That is Steven Stefanski. Our top 4 is, here comes the next set of drivers going to roll up here to join these guys at the front of the field. As I don't know why they're just popping up now on the racetrack. This is definitely an odd setting here. That's definitely weird, but there you go. You get a good look at them as our second row there. You see William Hargraves down on the inside as Hargraves down low, looking for a good run here himself as doesn't even show me Hargraves on the racetrack there. There we go. There's Hargraves there starting in position number 5. Dakota Brown to his outside. See the 33 ride right there as well. We see fourth row for some reason it's just not even showing in the right spot on the racetrack. That's awesome. Ryan Howard right there and Dylan Simmons rounding up that second row. You see the third row getting lined up now as well. The 14 rider Bo Cairo there in position number 9 on the racetrack. Jackie Whaley to his outside with Johnny Nolan and the 32 ride of Jacob Stefanski right there. Then you see the 23 of that is Chris Peters in the 57. That is the ride of Jeremy Akins as we try to get through the whole lineup before they get out on the racetrack, because then it gets all jumbled up here as every one of these drivers just lined up here ready to try to rock and roll. It looks like they're kind of a little messed up right there. They're about 5 wide there in that 4th row. Looks like Jeremy Akins going to back it up here. Same with the 34 ride as they're going to try to make sure that they get lined up perfectly out there on the racetrack as now they're going to roll and try to get lined up again on the front straightaway. Bionic Man says, get them stacked up and lined up. That's what we're doing, brother. That's what we're doing. Yo, what's good, Tony? Mr. Whippersnapper coming in says, what's going on, my guy? What's good, Tony? It's good, Whippersnapper. There you go. These drivers going to get lined up here at the flag stand. We'll get ready to set them loose here in this one. 4 wide restart. Our race leader here, the pole sitter, the 822 with Tyler Jackson in the Black Diamond Mafia, number 822, T-Jack. He's going to get ready to set these drivers loose. We're going to get ready to go green flag racing here in just a few more moments. We're waiting for him to drop the hammer here on the rest of the field as the 822 with Tyler Jackson gonna set these drivers loose. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as it is the Throttle Down Motorsports Enduro Series, live from the beautiful Lernerville Speedway, as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. As we are quickly green flag racing, we already saw some trouble deeper in the field here. Some drivers getting tied up on the initial start, as out in front, T-Jack Tyler Jackson leads the way. He's going to get a shot right there. Over the berm goes the 71 of William Hargraves. Hargraves sliding backwards here, unfortunately, for the 71H ride, already going over the berm as Tyler Jackson leads lap number 1 here at Lernerville Speedway. So T-Jack out in front, Dustin Benton right there in position number 2, as it looks like they may be already trying to maybe just run away, open up a bit of a lead here, but T-Jack down the bottom side, maybe already thinking tire saving here, trying to keep that car underneath of him, not trying to spin the tires, not trying to put himself in a bad position, and he may be thinking tire strategy and tire saving here right out of the get-go. So an interesting move here out of T-Jack as he's already let a few of these drivers go by. You can see him just hugging that inside lane there, just trying to keep that car as straight as possible. And that's leaving the outside lane open. These drivers all going to get around him, but I think he's just more worried about late in this race when these tires start to slide away, when these tires start to fail on the racetrack. He doesn't want to have to come down pit side and try to get a tire repaired. He doesn't want to have to worry about the tire failure out there on the racetrack. And even though he's sliding backwards right now, he's looking for a good run nonetheless. And it's going to be a good strategy move. It's out in front. The big D machine, Dustin Benton. He second last week, came home in position number 2. A close race there between him and Tyler Jackson, as we saw both of those two drivers jump out in front early in the race, lead some laps, and then we saw them both slide backwards and try to save tires. They were two only drivers to stay out throughout that whole race and be able to come home first and second without having to make that pit stop, without having that tire failure. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here and what's going to play out. Obviously, T-Jack, Tyler Jackson, already in conserve mode here in the 822 ride, so trying to play some strategy in the opening laps of this race, as Steven Stefanski right there in second, Ryan Howard there in third, Jacob Stefanski up into position number 4 with Bo Cairo in the 23 of Chris Peters right there in the 5th and 6th position. Dakota Proud, Lon Franks, Jeremy Aikens, and William Hargraves, who we saw go up and off the banking there in quarter number 3 and 4 on the first lap. He's there in position number 10. Johnny Nolan, Brian Tapp there in 11th and 12th as T-Jack down low on the bottom side. He's going to be sitting there in the 13th position as Jackie Whaley back there behind him. Hayden Wooten and Cameron Stefanski duking it out back here for position number 15 on the racetrack. Jeff Kendrick right there in that battle. The 29 rider, Aaron Martin, Dylan Simmons, Jason Zilmer, Kelly Parker, Glenn Townsend back there in the 1-2-3 ride in 22nd. Troy Owenby, Charles Davis, and Evan Stefanski bringing up the rear of the field here. Now, Evan Stefanski is in a dangerous game right now. He may want to try to conserve tires. He may want to try to keep that car looking fresh out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, though, you see our race leaders right there behind him closing in on him in a quick hurry. You see the 77 ride rejoin the field here after going over the banking there as well. Stefanski's going to give him a shot as they get beating and banging and battling here at the back of the pack, trying to stay in front of our race leaders, trying to stay on the lead lap. Unfortunately, the Forever 10 and Boutique 34 ride, the WB Crave Designs DCSSS Precision Auto Bodies number 34 ride is the Throttle Down Motorsports Big D machine of Dustin Benton out in front, continuing to lead the way. Everyone follow, like, and share this amazing broadcaster. I appreciate you, Crank, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. Anthony James coming in with the like as well. Tony Whipperman with that heart reaction on the broadcast. My boy Craig Michael Deacon coming in with that like as well on the broadcast. We're going to pin that. We're going to pin that, Craig. That's a good comment right there. We're going to pin that bad boy. We're going to let the world see that every time they pop in here and take a look at what's happening here. Is some great racing action, man. This is some craziness out there here at Lernerville, as each and every one of these drivers just absolutely duking it out, absolutely going to battle. And as I said, there's some strategy games being played here. Some early strategy calls. We saw the 822 ride of Tyler Jackson get that pole position. He started out in front on that pole position, and then instantly, after leading a lap, dove right down to the bottom side of the racetrack and just let everyone slowly but surely starting to cruise by him here. He's holding on back here, though, in that 14th position. He's got the 720 ride of Jackie Whaley. Whaley, ever since getting behind the 822 ride, has basically just been trying to follow in his tire tracks here, trying to do the exact same thing as T-Jack, maybe try to get on that same strategy and keep himself a little bit longer on the racetrack without having that tire failure late in this race. But we'll have to wait and see how long this racetrack's going to hold up. You see Dustin Benton still out in front, starting to run a little bit more down on the bottom side of the track here, but unfortunately still running pretty hard here at the front of the field. He may be playing a different strategy game here, run as hard as possible, and then have that tire blowout hopefully sooner rather than later. Come down pit side, get that repaired, and back it onto the racetrack without losing too many positions or too much time out there on the track. You see Ryan Howard right there behind him. Howard up 6 spots on the track, now up into position number 2. Bo Cairo also up 6 spots here as they roll around the lap traffic there. The 9 ride, unfortunately, of Troy OMB going a lap down. Jeff Kendrick also a lap down in the 333 machine, as out in front it is Dustin Benton, Ryan Howard, Bo Cairo now 1, 2, and 3 as Steven Stefanski back there in position number 4. Chris Peters working himself up into position number 5 here, up 8 spots on the racetrack. He's got Jacob Stefanski and Dakota Brown right there behind him as a pair of Throttle Down Motorsports WB Crave Designs ride, trying to jump up here and battle with this TNT Racing Simrap Market Laconia Setup Shop number 23 ride of Chris Peters, as Peters getting a little bent out of shape right there, trying to figure out a way to get around some lap traffic. Gonna get up into him there, gonna shove him up the racetrack, trying to work himself through there, letting the 9 ride know that listen, brother, we got to go here, and we got to get out of the way here of that number 9 ride. And there you go. You see the 5J of Johnny Nolan going to get a piece of him. Unfortunately, spins Troy Owenby around, and that's a tough break right there for an already struggling number 9 ride of Troy Owenby, but he's able to get it pointed back in the right direction and keep on trucking here as the 9 machine back in the 24th spot, as out in front, the 34 of Dustin Benton continuing to lead the way here. Big D machine of Dustin Benton out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one, as Ryan Howard right there in position number 2, trying to roll that outside lane. These two going to battle here pretty hard at the front of the field, still laying down some pretty crazy lap times. Right now they're running about 6 tenths, 5 tenths faster than what Tyler Jackson's running right now deeper in the field here. So it's interesting to see what T-Jack's strategy is going to be here. Obviously trying to save, trying to keep that right rear tire together, not trying to kick the car out sideways, trying to keep it as straight as possible here in that Black Diamond Mafia 822, as he's trying to pick up another checkered flag here early on in this series. And he's looking good. He's got the strategy. Got Brian Taft right there in front of him, the A720 ride of Jackie Whaley right there as well, as they're rolling around the 9 ride, as the 9 ride going to go farther backwards here. Unfortunately, still struggling out there on the racetrack. Glenn Townsend, the 1-2-3, back there in the 15th position. Aaron Martin right there as well. We just saw the 4 ride of Hayden Wooten go off the racetrack there through corner 3 and 4. He's got to point it back in the right direction, keeping it out there on the racetrack, battling to the outside here of Aaron Martin, as Cameron Stefanski right there in that battle as the 92 ride, currently in the 18th position, as Dylan Simmons right there behind him, and Jason Zilmer rounding out our top 20 as Charles Davis right there in position number 21. He is actually going to go a lap down as we get a new race leader here. Ryan Howard is able to jump up and take this race lead away from Dustin Benton. So Benton back to position number 2 now, is out in front. Ryan Howard takes this lead in the iRacing Dirty Mo Media number 4 machine as he jumps to the point. Dustin Benton slides back to position number 2. Bo Cairo right there in position number 3 with Jacob Stefanski and Chris Peters rounding out our top 5 here in this one. He's saving tire. He's definitely saving tire. T-Jack is definitely saving tire. I feel like a lot of them are saving tire right now. Brian Taft, Jackie Whaley, usually some very, very fast drivers that we see up towards the front of the field. They've been kind of conserve mode right from lap number 1 here, and looks like they're trying to stay in that spot here. Same with the 71 ride of William Hargraves. No, William usually very, very strong here at this racetrack, usually very, very fast, but they seem to be just kind of on a different strategy, trying to check up their cars, trying to slow down here a little bit. Dustin Benton looks like he's starting to play that same strategy here as well after going hard for the first 25 laps of this race or so. He's been slowly slowing down here lap after lap after lap. Yo, Richard Hannon. Richard coming in, showing the big love here in this one, coming in with that exclamation mark followage here on the stream here with the exclamation mark followage, the 1,148 days of being a follower here on PeaceMaker Gaming. That's absolutely fucking insane, brother. That's absolutely insane, Richard. 1,148 days of being a part of the PeaceMaker family. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get a hashtag Richard up in the chat right now. Hashtag, actually, let's get a hashtag Hannon up in the chat. Hashtag Hannon up in the chat. Hannon, Hannon up in the chat right now for Richard Hannon coming in. 1,148 days of being a part of the community. Absolutely insane. Joseph Barry coming in with the like on the stream. How are you, Joe? Joe coming in, showing the love. Richard with that like as well. Larry Limenheimer. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Larry. Larry coming in with that share on the broadcast as well. How are you, Larry? Larry coming in, showing the love here in this one. Is some great racing action here throughout the field. Everyone trying to just continuously work themselves around the racetrack, trying to keep themselves out of trouble out there on the track. As Joycelyn coming in with the hydrate over there on Twitch, a little hydrate. We got our Monster Rehab tea and lemonade. These are absolutely amazing. These are probably the best Monster Energy drinks that are out there, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, if you haven't tried these rehabs, you gotta try them. The peach tea ones, very, very enjoyable. They got a couple new ones out as well. The wild berry one, very good, very smooth, very delicious. But the tea and lemonade, you can never go wrong with a Monster Rehab tea and lemonade. Oh, that is refreshing. That is very refreshing. It's so good. So good. We're hydrated now. Shout out to Monster powering us and the racing action here this evening up in the broadcast booth. As out in front at 34 ride, Dustin Benton still trying to hunt down our race leader, Ryan Howard. Is Howard opening up a big lead here? Definitely not in tire conservation mode for the 4 ride. He's clicking off these laps in a quick hurry. The 4 machine rolling the outside lane here, getting some good lap times and continuing to put drivers a lap down here on the racetrack. And slowly but surely, he's catching up to some of these very, very fast drivers. He's got our 20th place driver right in front of him. That is Cameron Stefanski in the Steve's Lawn Care Landscaping number 92 ride right there in position number 20. He's trying to stay on the lead lap. You see Dylan Simmons right there. You see Brian Taft, Jason Zilmer, Aaron Martin, all right there within striking distance of our race leader. And then not too far in front of this group of drivers, you see Jackie Whaley and the number 822 of Tyler Jackson, as we do see, unfortunately, here for Brian Taft. He goes off the racetrack. Taft going to fall down a lap now as well, as there goes our race leader right in front of him as Brian Taft up and over the banking there. Now we see Johnny Nolan having some issues as well. I'm not sure what happened to Johnny Nolan, but he went for a wild slide, and definitely some drivers having some issues already in this one. Drivers slipping and sliding, moving around the racetrack. Everyone trying to hang on to it. You see William Hargraves turned around right there. Hargraves on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to go a lap down now. Now he's got the 23 ride of Chris Peters, our second place driver right there, trying to work himself around that 71 ride as well. Dustin Benton, the 19 ride of Dakota Proud right there to his outside, as Dustin continuing to try to save now down the bottom side of the racetrack. These guys hooked up here on the high side. We're going to start seeing drivers slowly but surely slide off the racetrack here. Drivers are going to be going over that banking. They're going to be having a tough time here running that outside lane and trying to keep their car on the racetrack. See Bo Cairo actually already sliding back to that 12th position. So going from 3rd to 12th here in the BCR Sim Products iRacing Dirt Memes in number 14 right out there on the racetrack. It's the Cookies car there, is the Cookies machine, looking very, very strong, but unfortunately sliding backwards here. And now right there with Tyler Jackson, Jeremy Aikens, Jackie Whaley, all just outside the top 10 here, as Johnny Nolan trying to hang on to a top 10 here, is the 5J ride right there in the 10th position as Glenn Townsend down to his inside. Hayden Wooten right there in the 8th position with Jacob Stefanski there in 7th. Steven Stefanski in position number 6. Lon Franks has slowly but surely worked the DWR iRacing iFlag number 10 ride back up into position number 5 on the racetrack here. Currently down 2 spots as he's got Dustin Benton right there in front of him. Dakota Proud and the 23 rider Chris Peters starting to leave our race, or what was our race leader, Dustin Benton, back here in the dust as our current race leader out in front by about 3.2 seconds over the rest of the field here, looking very, very strong, very fast here this evening. But it's going to come down to a lot of strategy, a lot of luck, and just trying to keep yourself out of trouble, trying to keep your car underneath of you here. And as we see these laps continue to click down, already 50 laps in and 75 laps left to go. This is when we're going to start to see these tires really start to fade away here. Probably in the next 10 to 15 laps, we're going to see these drivers really start to struggle out there on the racetrack. And then probably 10, 15 laps after that, that's when we can start to see some tire failures happening out there on the track. Drivers really just spinning out, not having any grip at all in that right rear tire. And it's going to get very, very difficult. It's going to get very interesting to see if these drivers who are trying to run the high side right now, if they can hold it up there, and when or if that tire does finally give out, can they keep it on the racetrack? Do they go flying off of that backstretch hill or down off the banking here in corner 3 or corner number 1, where you can get yourself into some big, big trouble and create a lot of carnage for yourself and other drivers out there on the racetrack? Is that's going to be a big, big question here all evening long as well. Out in front, the 4 ride continuing to lead the way is Jeff Jackson coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Jeff? Jeff coming in, some matching that thumbs up here on the broadcast. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing great here this evening as Jeff coming in, showing the love. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. If you're watching over on YouTube, you see the 71H of William Hargraves. Hargraves putting himself back onto the lead lap here as he drives around our race leader, as right there in front of him you see Tyler Jackson, the 822, blinking here on the track as T-Jack definitely having some connection issues there, but looking strong nonetheless here in the Black Diamond Mafia 822 as he's just in front of our race leader, not too far away from going a lap down here, as actually our race leader trying to catch up to the 822 ride and going to put him at risk of going a lap down. So Ryan Howard trying to get last week's winner, and the driver who's picked up a couple wins in the series already, going to put him down a lap and trying to put him behind the 8 ball early on in this race, right through the halfway point here of this race right now, as Chris Peters trying to catch up to our race leader here as Peters back there in position number 2. Dakota Proud right there in 3rd. Lon Franks now up into position number 4 as Dustin Benton slides back now to that 5th position. Hayden Wu connect to see that. I'm sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen, but for some reason Streamlabs is having a meltdown right now. This is amazing. This is awesome. I love to see this. I love to see it. I love to see it. What is going on here, Streamlabs? What do you got going on here? What are you cooking up? Yeah, no shit. There's been drop frames. You literally just get disconnected twice. What in the world, bro? What in the world? Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. I don't understand why it just randomly decided it wanted to disconnect. Not once, but twice right there. Streamlabs, get your shit together. Come on now. Work good for us. Work good for us. Yo, Thomas. What's good, Mr. Dennis? What's good, Thomas? How are you, brother? All right. I think it's back to level again. Stream quality is good, so hopefully everything is working good here for us, chat. I don't know what that was all about, but Streamlabs definitely decided that it wanted to just take a little bit of a meltdown right there, but looks like things are good and working good and should be smooth sailing. Smooth sailing right up until that point. Then all of a sudden she wanted to just disappear on us there. So well, that was fun. That was a good time. That was awesome. I love that right there. I love that for certain. That was awesome. That was awesome. Thanks, Streamlabs. I'm good, my brother. That's great. I love to hear that. Thomas coming in, showing the big love with the like on the stream here. Is some crazy racing action here in this one. Michael Goon coming in with that like on the broadcast as well. How are you, Michael? Michael coming in, showing the love with the thumbs up as well as... Man, these guys are putting on a heck of a show for us, man. Chris Peters, though, out in front now as he's able to jump up and take that race lead away from the 4 machine of Ryan Howard. So Howard back to second. Chris Peters now into the top spot here, as you see, not too far behind these two. You see that third place driver, the 19 of Dakota Proud, Lon Franks, right there as well. So our top 4 all within a second of each other right here. The 720 ride right there in the mix as well. That is the 720 of Jackie Whaley. He's the first car 1 lap down here, trying to keep the 720 ride out there on the racetrack, trying to keep it nice and safe out there, trying to work himself around the 50 ride right there. Is unfortunately for Charles Davis going to go another lap down in the 50 ride, but Jackie Whaley trying to work himself back onto the lead lap. And right here in front of our race leaders, you see some very fast drivers. Glenn Townsend right there in front of them in the 1-2-3, about to go a lap down here as he goes down off the racetrack into the infield, and that will put him a lap down. As T-Jack Tyler Jackson right there as well. T-Jack at risk of going a lap down here himself, as our race leaders only a couple car lengths back there behind him. Jason Zilmer, William Hargraves all at risk right there as well, as they're not too far away from that race leader and our 10th place driver, the 14 of Richard Cairo, right there in the 10th position, not too far off our race leaders here as well, as they're right there on them, trying to put those guys a lap down, as that would really give them an extra edge here in this feature event. As Jesse Marcos coming in with that heart reaction. Jesse coming in showing the love. Evan Stefanski with the like on the broadcast as well. How are you, Evan? Evan coming in showing the big love here in this one as well. As well, that was a scary sight there for us for a little bit, chat. I thought for certain we were losing connection there, and it was going to be ending some streams on us. Luckily enough, Facebook and Streamlabs decided to work again, and we got back going up, and everything looks to be holding steady here. Just for some reason, Streamlabs decided it wanted to lose connection there. As around goes Chris Peters, our race leader, going for a spin. Peters going for a loop-de-loop there. See the 5J ride of Johnny Nolan flying back out there onto the racetrack here, currently in that 5th position. As he rolls back out onto the track there, still up inside the top 5. As you see the 23 ride of Chris Peters unfortunately going around now. You see Ryan Howard up and off the racetrack here, the 4 ride. Now going for a ride here as well. He's going to slide back now into the 4th position as Chris Peters will work himself around him. You see the 4 ride really starting to lose that rear end there. That car is struggling out on the racetrack right now, and that high side groove may be the deadliest spot to be for him, as he continues to flirt with the edge of existence right there. As out in front, Dakota Proud jumps up and takes this race lead. Lon Franks, though, right there on his back bumper, as they got about a straightaway advantage between Chris Peters and Ryan Howard now. Johnny Nolan back there in the 5th position in the 5J. Then we see Hayden Wooten there in position number 6 in the 4 ride. And then Dustin Benton there in position number 7. Jacob Stefanski there in 8th. Steven Stefanski there in 9th. And Bo Cairo rounding out our top 10 here with William Hargraves, Jason Zilmer, and Tyler Jackson rounding out our top 13 here in this one. Is some crazy racing action, and oh man, we're just getting started, chat. We're just getting started. There's a lot of racing action left to go here. 80 laps in, 45 more laps left to go. And this is when things really start to get interesting with tire failures. Drivers really starting to struggle as their tires really starting to hurt here. Drivers are starting to hit single-digit numbers on that right rear. They're starting to slip and slide around. You're going to see them just looping it all by themselves. They're going to set it into the corner, have zero grip. The car's just going to go around like it's sliding on ice, and these guys are going to have their hands full for the next 45 laps. That is for certain, as we're going to jump into a very quick PeaceMaker Gaming. Crank it up, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. We crank it up here on PeaceMaker Gaming. from Lernerville Speedway out in front. See a good battle here for the second spot as Lon Frank's going for the slider over Chris Peters. But leading the way, it's the 19 ride. It is Dakota Proud out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. As he puts the 5J ride of Johnny Nolan a lap down here. See William Hargraves right there a lap down, as well as a good run on the outside as Johnny Nolan trying to weave himself there on the lead lap in the 5J ride. 71H of William Hargraves trying to work himself around that 19 ride, as well as Dakota Proud out in front leading the way. Lon Frank's back there about 2.5 seconds behind our race leader. They're in position number 2. You see Chris Peters back there in the 3rd spot. Dustin Benton there in position number 4. Jacob Stefanski in that 5th position, with Steven Stefanski and Ryan Howard rounding out our top 7 here in this one. Johnny Nolan there in 8th. William Hargraves both putting themselves back onto the lead lap here, as Bo Cairo right there in position number 10 here. He's unfortunately the first car 1 lap down, as Lon Franks, our 2nd place driver, up over the banking there. He's going to be able to work himself back onto the racetrack as Chris Peters rolls around him and back up into position number 2 here, as the 4 ride trying to roll back out onto the racetrack. Is this the point where we start to see drivers either having those tire failures, coming back onto the racetrack, or trying to stay out there on the racetrack and trying to keep their cars pointed in the right direction and not having that tire failure, not having to come down pit side and getting a new set of tires put onto it? But it's easier said than done here, as so street stocks on ice escapades, yes. Street stocks on ice, that is for certain. That is for certain, as we see some great racing action. And I mean, these laps are clicking down in a quick hurry here. Already over 100 laps in, and only 22 more laps left to go here. So not a lot of time here for drivers to make up ground and be able to put themselves into position for the win here. Dakota Proud out in front by almost 3 seconds here over Chris Peters, as Peters trying to hunt him down. Lon Frank's right there in position number 3, taking a look down low underneath of the 23, trying to still battle for that 3rd spot. And then about 8 seconds back behind these 3, you see the 34 rider Dustin Benton back there in position number 4 and looking for more. And Jacob Stefanski right there as well, as you see the 822 with Tyler Jackson out there on the racetrack. I do believe T-Jack saving tires here. He may not have came down pit side. He may have came down pit side, but currently finds himself 1 lap down, back in the 14th position after winning back-to-back races here. Definitely behind the 8 ball in this one, trying to catch up to our race leaders here and trying to put himself back onto the lead lap and trying to finish it off with a solid run and a solid race here, especially with points on the line. And seeing Chris Peters up there in position number 2, Dustin Benton up there as well. He's leaving a lot of points in between himself and those 2 drivers after having very good weeks here, week after week after week, having some great performances. See Johnny Nolan up there, William Hargraves as well has had a couple good races in the series already. Lon Frank's just joining, but a lot of drivers up towards the front of the field having some good runs already in the series. But fortunately for Tyler Jackson, strategy trying to save right out of the get-go, maybe coming back to hurt him here in this one, as he's trying to get that 822 to the front of the field here, and he's running out of time in a quick hurry. Running out of time in a quick hurry here is the 34 right there. That's the 34 machine of Jason Zilmer off the racetrack there. Now you see William Hargraves going for a spin there just off the track, as well as Hargraves has worked himself now up into the 7th position here, as Johnny Nolan going to work himself back around him, as both Johnny Nolan and William Hargraves down a lap right now to our race leaders. Dakota Proud still out in front, still nursing that 2.9-second lead now over Chris Peters, as Peters trying to catch up to him here, but trying to keep that car straight and pointing in the right direction himself. Dustin Benton now up into 3rd here, as Lon Frank's right there behind him. Now you see another car off the racetrack there in quarter number 4. That is the 4 ride. Fortunately struggling here late in the race, as see Tyler Jackson trying to work himself around the 34 of Dustin Benton. This isn't for position on the racetrack, as Dustin's still on the lead lap. Unfortunately for Tyler Jackson, getting tied up in a couple wrecks out there on the racetrack, finds himself a lap down and not in an ideal position on the racetrack right now. So tough break there for T-Jack, as he's just trying to keep that car on the racetrack here, as he's going to get up onto the berm right there. A little contact between himself and the 10 ride along Frank's, as Frank's trying to hunt down the 34 ride of Dustin Benton to work himself back inside the top 3. It's Dakota Proud out in front, though. He's been playing his cars perfectly here this evening in the 19 ride. Absolutely hooked up and is trying to make it to the end here as the laps continue to click off. That time by the start-finish line. 12 more laps left to go. So 12 more circuits left here for the 19 ride of Dakota Proud to pick up the checkered flag. Corey Krause, how do I join? Corey, all you got to do is look for Throttle Down Motorsports on Facebook. They do have a Facebook page, the Throttle Down Motorsports team, and they should be able to point you in the right direction. Streamlabs trying to have another hard time here on us. Hopefully, Streamlabs decides not to have a hard time, and of course, it's going to crash here again, especially right at the very fucking end. What is going on here with Streamlabs right now, bro? What is going on with Streamlabs right now? They got to fix their shit, bro. That's third time that has decided to just try to disconnect right there. That is absolutely wild, but it looks like things are back in order. Looks like things are good again. Just a random drop and loss of frames. Awesome. Love that, Streamlabs. Love that. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, just hit up Throttle Down Motorsports on Facebook. You should be able to find them. You just look up the TDM Enduro, and you should be able to find their Facebook page, and then you should be able to find their Discord and being able to join over there in that way. It's out in front. These guys putting on a great show, but only one driver can park their ride in victory lane as we do see Chris Peters down pit side. Peters having to come down pit side late in this race, so Chris Peters down pit lane here, a heartbreaker for the 23 ride. Is 8 laps left to go. He's had to come down pit side. A unfortunate break here for the 23 machine as the 19 ride of Dakota Proud. They're in the top spot, just continuing to try to click off laps here. More drivers having issues. Oh no, more drivers all around the racetrack running into issues here out there on the track as you see the 57 ride up and over the banking right there. The 14 rider Richard Cairo trying to hold on to his ride. The 33 of Dylan Simmons, Jackie Whaley trying to work themselves up through the field here as Dakota Proud continuing to lead the way. Only has 4 drivers left on the lead lap right now. It's Lon Franks. There in second, Jacob Stefanski now in third, but he's going to go around right in front of William Hargraves as there's our race leader trying to put him a lap down here. You see drivers running into tire failure. Their tires are starting to go away here in these last couple laps, and drivers just trying to hang on to their rides here. Dakota Proud down low, trying to nurse this ride down to victory lane as Lon Franks trying to catch up to him. Back there in position number 2, about 10 seconds the gap between the 10 ride and the 19, as I do believe both these drivers don't have a right rear tire left as well. It looks like they're limping around the racetrack, just trying to make it to the end. Dustin Benton there in position number 3 as William Hargraves right there on his back bumper. Going to give him a shot in the shorts right there as Jackie Whaley now up inside the top 5. He's going to work himself back onto the lead lap. Unfortunately, though, he's only got 3 more laps left to try to catch up to our race leader, and he's going to run out of time here unless if Dakota Proud and Lon Franks really start to have some issues here in these couple last laps. You see the 822 with Tyler Jackson now going to work himself around those two, as well as T-Jack going to work himself up into position number 7 on the racetrack. Sees Dylan Simmons in one more spot right there in front of him as we see 2 more laps left to go here for Dakota Proud. 2 more laps for the 19 ride. Can he hang on to it? Can he keep that car pointing the right direction? Can he hold up? Lon Franks has closed the gap. Only 3 seconds between himself and Dakota Proud. Proud right here down through quarter number 3 and 4. He's going to see that white flag fly one more time around for Dakota Proud here in this one. Lon Franks within 2 seconds here, trying to hunt down our race leader, is down the back straightaway. The 19 ride for the final time here this evening, down into quarter number 3. Nice and easy out at quarter number 4. Lon Franks can't get there as Dakota Proud is going to pick up the checkered flag here in this one. Proud gonna get it done and park the 19 ride up here in victory lane as Lon Franks there in second. Dustin Benton gonna come home in third with Jackie Whaley there in 4th, and Tyler Jackson, T-Jack, coming home in position number 5. Jacob Stefanski there in the 6th position with Dylan Simmons coming home in 7th. William Hargraves in position number 8 with Jeremy Aikens and Johnny Nolan rounding out our top 10, but it's all Dakota Proud here in this one as he parks the 19 ride up here on the front straightaway. So the rest of our top 3 going to join him there is Lon Franks and Dustin Benton right there in the picture as well. Here comes Jackie Whaley, Tyler Jackson, and Jacob Stefanski Actually, no, Jacob Stefanski. Sorry, Jacob, not part of the top 5 there. Man, what a run, what a race, what a crazy, crazy finish here, man. That was absolutely wild. And that's what this series brings to us, chat. This is what the series brings to us, is that excitement here. Normally, we like to see that happen about 10, 15 laps before that, so we can see how all the craziness plays out afterwards, or seeing how long those drivers can hang on to the cars. You can see Dakota Brown really limping there in those final closing laps. Lon Franks, even with a tore-up race car and a weak car himself, trying to hunt him down, closing that gap in a quick hurry, and getting it down to 8/10 of a second, 9/10 of a second there across the line, as Lon, maybe need one more lap to be able to jump up here and steal this win away from the 19 ride. So definitely a heartbreaker there for Lon Franks. And then Dustin Benton in position number 3, Jackie Whaley and Tyler Jackson rounding out our top 5. We were starting to count out T-Jack late in this race, and then we started seeing drivers run into some serious issues, and really opened the door for T-Jack to jump up there and work himself back inside of a top 5 finish. Is absolutely amazing. And we look through the field at some of the drivers that were staying out there and running very hard. You look back at Chris Peters, who had to come down with 8 laps left to go, getting that tire changed. He ended up finishing in the 17th position. Richard Cairo there back in 14th. Drivers that were having good nights just all of a sudden go astray in a quick hurry. You look back at Steven Stefanski as well, coming home in the 20th position. He was up inside the top 5 pretty much all evening long. Ryan Howard up there as well in the 4 ride, coming home in the 19th position. So definitely a crazy way to finish this one off. Robert coming in with the like. Corey Kraus coming in with that thumbs up as well. Alan Peters with the like on the stream. Tim Taylor, my boy Timmy, coming in, showing the love with the like as well on the broadcast. We're going to get ready. We're going to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here our top 5 up into the broadcast booth for their post-race interview. So post-race interviews about to get underway. Our top 5 going to join us up here in the broadcast booth. Woo! That was exciting, chat. That was very exciting. We're going to wait for our top 5 to jump in here, waiting for Dakota Proud and everyone else to join the broadcast waiting room here. So far, we only see one driver in there, which is T-Jack. See if we can just get T-Jack in here right out of the way here. Let's see if we can get Tyler Jackson right in here, right out of the way. He's the first one in the Discord, so we'll just pull him in right now. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Hey, what's up, Aaron?
Not much. Tyler, man, a good race and a good run here. We saw you jump out. Honestly, quick time here in qualifying. A very fast race car. Like usual, out of the 822 ride here, able to start in that pole position. You lead lap number 1, and then all of a sudden you just jumped right down to the bottom side. Looked like you got right into that tire conservation mode, trying to keep those tires nice and fresh out there on the racetrack, and then trying to keep yourself there on the lead lap. We saw you get tied up in a couple spins there. Able to keep on battling here. Then, we were kind of starting to count you out there with about 15, 20 laps left.
Trying to do an interview.
We were looking back there at, you were in about the 14th, 15th position, still down a lap, and not really seeing a whole lot of drivers having to come down pit side or having those tire failures. We were starting to count you out there, but slowly but surely, every one of those final, 8, 10 laps there, all of a sudden just started to really fall off. Cars spinning all over the racetrack. Drivers headed.
Yeah, I can't hear anything you're saying. I'm doing an interview.
As you're able to come home and pick that 5th place position up. T-Jack, man, how did, take us through this race and all the craziness there at the end?
Yeah, I thought I had a good strategy, saving at the front. Looking back on it, I might have saved a little too much. But we got involved in 2 completely different wrecks. One guy started a half spin in front of me, and I saw it happening, but by the time I noticed he was spinning, I couldn't do anything and got caught up in that one. And then another one, we were getting lapped, and Lon Franks came up on the outside of me, and I didn't know he had that good a run. I tried to squeeze up on him, and Lon didn't lift, and he shouldn't have lifted. So yeah, that put us out in the field there in turn 1, and then got spun back around, and I was trying to get back on the track in 1 and 2, and the car got kind of high-sided on the banking, so I literally was kind of just sitting there, and we lost a lot of time there. But I think if we would only had one incident, it looks like we lost by 15 seconds. I think the one incident alone up in 1 and 2 probably cost us that. So if we could have a little cleaner race, it would have probably been all right. I mean, it looks like a lot of people had some trouble there at the end, but yeah, man, we had a lot of tire at the end. We were picking them off left and right at the end. Got a little one lane dominant, which I should have played that a little better. But you know, you live and learn. There's this 125 laps is very confusing on what to do, and we're trying to figure out every week.
Absolutely, definitely a guessing game. Definitely not something that most drivers have a notebook full of, advice to use out there for a 125 lap race, especially all these different racetracks and how they continuously change. And obviously, with the new update, new tires, and everything else here, so it definitely makes things that much more interesting on what these cars are going to do, how they're going to handle, and what to expect once you start to run, over what we normally see you guys race in a regular, league night or regular official race when you're running, those 50, 60 lap races. You don't tend to see them run, more than that. I mean, we have one race a year for VLR where we see you guys run 100 laps, and that's about it. Other than that, we never tend to go beyond that. So definitely stretching the abilities of these street stocks and the tires and everything else. And I mean, you're just trying to play some good strategy here. We saw it right at the get-go, and it almost worked. Staying out of a couple wrecks there, trying to keep that car a little bit cleaner. You might have had a good shot, especially there at the end, as we saw a lot of drivers having some serious fall off there, and you were able to pick off a lot of spots there and work yourself back up into a solid 5th place finish here for you. But Tyler, who would you like to thank for a great run and a great drive still here this evening, coming home in that 5th position?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I got pretty nervous with I don't know 20 something to go, and I think we were still in like 14th, and I was like, well, this is gonna be a bad points night. But and then I started hearing some guys had to pit, and then you can just see it. I mean, the fall off is pretty wild at the end. Yeah, we were pretty quick at the end, but yeah, just a couple unlucky incidents, and I guess I'd rather have 2 of them in one night than spread them out over all the nights. So yeah, we'll just come back again next week, and we got a new wrap on tonight. I got to thank 5-6 Graphics. Designed this, kind of used my kind of theme, and I kind of gave him a couple ideas, and he really knocked it out of the park. So I'm real happy with that. ShopFergie22.com, Majula Say Speed Shop, Black Diamond Mafia, KC Speedworks, and Johnson Speed Shots. He does really good work with photos if you want some photos of your wrap.
Beauty. Well, Tyler, a great run, great drive, and a solid 5th place finish here for you. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Monday, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe a few spots better, and maybe back up in victory lane.
Yeah, that's what keeps you coming back. You compete with 30 people or 20 something people. You don't win very many of them, so it always keeps you coming back. And looks like we had 10% right rear left, so we played it pretty decent. Just a couple accidents that happens. We'll see you next week. Thanks for the broadcast.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night, and congratulations again on the 5th place finish.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 5th place driver, Tyler Jackson. Here is Jackson coming home in position number 5. We're going to get ready now to pull in our race winner. Our race winner, the number 19 machine. It's Dakota Proud having himself an absolutely amazing race, an absolutely amazing evening here at the racetrack, as we're going to pull the 19 ride up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey, Dakota, it's Aaron up here at the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Dakota, my boy, how does it feel to be up here in victory lane after running an absolute clinic out there on the racetrack? You're able to come home and park the 19 right up here in victory lane, but take us through, this race, man, as we saw a lot of up and down here, a lot of different strategies, and then late there in the race, we saw you able to jump up and take that race lead away and start to run away with it, and then those closing laps, I'm sure of it, because we saw the tire fall off, whether or not you were just really playing it safe, or if you had that tire failure and then just trying to keep that car underneath you and pointing in the right direction there in those closing laps as Lon Franks was trying to hunt you down.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, to start the race, you got to think about the end of the race. So we came in with heavy offset. So at the beginning, it's hard to get the car to turn. As the race progressed, you get faster and faster. I ran hard for probably the first 40 laps. I can't remember exactly when I got up into, I don't know, 3rd, and I tried to reel in Chris and who was up front? The number 4 car, Ryan, I believe.
Yeah, Ryan Howard.
And ran hard catching up to them, and they got tied up in a wreck, and I found myself in the lead and running hard with Lon there for, I don't know, felt like 20 laps or so. And so he got tied up in something, and I managed to squeak through. And whenever that happened, I went into save mode. I just was trying to roll as easy as I could through the turns because I knew I already burned up my stuff running hard to get up to the front. Lap 120, my right rear blew, and I went the last 5 laps just putting around the bottom, trying to just make it. And I saw Lon coming. I think I beat him by 0.6 seconds there at the end.
Yeah, it was very, very close finish there. It looks like across the line was almost 9/10 of a second. But,
Intense, yep.
Yeah, he was reeling you in a quick hurry. We saw once he started to really fall off the pace. We looked up. We're like, he's got a 10-second lead here. That's a pretty good advantage. And all of a sudden, a couple laps later, we could see Lon Franks coming into the picture there. He was only a couple seconds behind you, taking that white flag and reeling you in and clicking the laps down there. And even the last time by, almost 2 seconds faster than you on that last lap, with him still having tires underneath of him, and you just try to survive and get the car across the line and not spin out there. Obviously Lon, a very talented driver, coming up so close to picking up the win. Obviously, he's going to hand it to you, knowing that you ran a great race and a great run, but I'm sure he was really hoping for that extra 1 more lap, maybe 2 more laps out there to be able to jump up and take this win away from you.
Yeah, for sure. If it had 1 more lap in it, he would have got me. Once the white flag came out, I saw him and my relative, and I was like, here we go. He was about, I think, like you said, he was a little over 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds behind me. And I was like, it's going to be close. I saw him within a second, probably, whenever I went into 3. And I was like, he might get me. But I was able to squeak it through. So, first win of the season.
Absolutely a great run and a great race here, Dakota. Who would you like to thank for such a strong performance all evening long and picking up the win here at Lernerville Speedway and parking that 19 ride up here in Victory Lane?
I got to thank you first. Once we get done here, I'm going to go upstairs, get a drink, and watch your broadcast, man. So thank you for what you do. I'd have to thank all the guys over at TDM, Saturday Night Motorsports, always helping me, always making me faster. WB Creative Designs, Levi's Custom Detailing, and my wife for letting me dedicate the time to do this.
Absolutely, brother. Well, great run and a great drive, and it all pays off here in this one as you get parked the 19 ride up here in Victory Lane. We're not going to hold you in here much longer. We'll let you go and celebrate and party with the crew here, and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane, Dakota, but we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Monday.
Yes, sir. Hopefully.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner. The 19 rider Dakota Proud is proud, picking up the win and parking his ride up here in Victory Lane this evening. A great run and a great drive there for Dakota as he gets it done in this one. As we'll get ready, we're going to pull in our second place finisher, Lon Franks. As Frank's coming home here in position number 2, we're going to pull Lon up into the broadcast booth here himself. Hey, Lon, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Get a copy?
I do. What's up?
Not much, Lon, my boy. A great run and a great drive here for you in this one. Unfortunately, getting tied up in a few incidences out there on the racetrack, hindering your performance just ever so slightly, and possibly the amount that you needed there to chase down Dakota Proud late in this race, coming up 9/10 shy of victory here this evening. Maybe 1 lap shy there. Taking a look back through this race, maybe a couple of mistakes that you should got into when drivers got into you, or getting loose, or almost going around there with contact, or up onto the berm there. What's going through your mind here, knowing that you came up so close after 125 laps of racing action to being up in Victory Lane?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff happened, and they definitely add up. To come down to 9/10 is pretty crazy, but I feel like I had the car to beat. I saved a good amount, ran hard enough early, kind of maintained, and then felt I had plenty at the end. And then every time I kind of upped the pace, then I'd get tangled up and lapper or something. So I don't know. It was hit or miss. I just got lucky. I was lucky enough not to completely go off or completely like wreck. They were all little mishaps. So able to just keep trucking forward.
Absolutely. Then late in this race, you see, or I'm not sure if you heard or not, but Dakota probably around lap 120 blows that right rear tire out. And obviously, you can see in the relative that you're picking up a lot of gain on him there in a quick hurry. As we looked up around that lap 120 area, and you're about 10 seconds behind our race leader after running into some issues there. And then all of a sudden, with about 2 laps left to go, we look up and you're within 4 seconds, and you're closing the gap in a quick hurry, and you're chasing them down there. What's going through your mind, knowing that you're still going to be very cautious about your tires. You're still going to be cautious about not looping the car out by yourself out there or running into some other issues, driving into other drivers, but also trying to hunt down and try to get the win here from the 19 ride, knowing that you had an opportunity there late in this race.
Yeah, when I was right behind him, I was just waiting, man. His car was loose, and mine was still pretty solid. So I was waiting, and then I got tangled up with a lapper there, and fell back, and I just figured I was just gonna settle in, and then I seen that too, and I thought, all right, here we go. But I don't know, just came up a little short. I came out of 4, and I seen him just there. He was only doing like 20 miles an hour, it seemed like, but just couldn't get there.
Yeah, just that little bit shy here this
Yeah.
evening of victory lane, but still a very good run, a very strong performance out of you here tonight, Lon, as you park that ride up here on the front straightaway in position number 2. Who would you like to thank for such a strong performance all evening long out of that 10 machine?
I got to thank all my teammates, DWR, just a good group of guys. We all just help each other. I don't have my list of sponsors available, but just thank everybody, the family, you guys for putting it on, Dustin for putting it together, and it's a pretty cool deal. I've never ran a race that long, so it was pretty neat.
Absolutely, definitely a very unique thing, and that's what I was saying to Tyler Jackson, last week and earlier tonight as well. Is you don't normally see races go this long in these dirt street stocks. Even when we look at the VLR races and everything else. When they put on the big street stock race there in the fall for the fall brawl or anything else. There's only they run 100 laps, so even that 25 lap difference, that 25 laps longer, is no man's land. Not a lot of leagues have ever ran that long, or most people don't tend to test one set of tires on that distance to see what's going to happen and how the car is going to handle, or how quickly those tires are going to fade away or blow there late in the race. So kind of really makes it a very heads-up game out there on the racetrack for all the different strategies being played.
Yeah, I had to change my kind of game up about halfway through, like lap 60. My arm started tingling. I was just holding the wheel too tight, wasn't letting no blood flow. So I had to kind of give him a little bit of shake and just kind of relax my grip on the wheel. And then I just kind of cruised. And but yeah, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be in trouble.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's another thing too. We talk about the cars and how much they change through 125 laps, the tires and everything else, and the strategy. When it comes down to a physical game as well, this is a long race, 125 laps, and as you said, obviously having to grip the wheel or anything else, or having to go to the bathroom throughout the race or anything. It's a pretty physical, demanding race, especially once those tires start to fade away. You're trying to avoid spinning cars. You're moving up and down the racetrack. You're driving right on the edge of your seat and continuously, having that blood pressure up there. It becomes a very physical race in a quick hurry, and you got to be on top of your game, not only with your setup and with your race car, but also with, yourself in behind the seat.
Yeah, the pace of the race goes down, but the amount of work going into each lap goes up. I feel a lot more concentration there towards the end, and just trying to be real careful.
Absolutely. Well, Lon, a great run and a great drive here to come home in position number 2. We look forward to hopefully seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Monday, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better, and up here in victory lane yourself.
For sure. Thanks for having me. We'll catch you later.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Lon Franks. As Franks coming home here in position number 2. A great run and a great drive there for that 10 ride. As my boy Cameron Stefanski says, thanks for commentating, Aaron. You the best. You the best. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, my boy, coming in showing the love here in this one. As we're going to get ready to pull in our third place finisher. The Throttle Down Motorsports number 34 ride is the Big D Machine. Dustin Benton coming home in position number 3. We're going to pull Dustin up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Dustin, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
Yes, sir. I got you. You about made me fall asleep, but I'm here.
Well, there's a lot of interviews to do, brother, and another one right here is he come home in position number 3. Another good run and another good race here out of that 34 ride. As you come home in position number 3, but a bit of a crazy race, a bit of a wild one, especially right there at the end. As man, you put on a wicked show here again tonight for us, and try to play that strategy after leading a bunch of laps early in the race. And then sliding back there, and then, we saw you, Tyler Jackson, trying to play some different strategies here tonight. And for a little bit, didn't look like it was going to work out in your favor until late in this race, when all of a sudden things really started to open up for you. Drivers having issues spinning around, having to go down pit side, getting those rear tires changed, and all of a sudden you and T-Jack and everyone else just started to work yourselves back up through the field.
Yeah, I mean, you got a track this size, you're going to have to pit if you drive like some of these guys were. And I knew it was coming, and I honestly saved way too long. I'd looked down, and we was at lap like 85 or something, and I just riding around pretty much, and got spun out 3 times, and was still just riding, and about, I don't know, I felt like it hadn't been 15 laps or something, and I hadn't even looked down again, and my spotter come across and said 2 to go, and I said, do what? So I guess I need to pay a little bit more attention.
Yeah, possibly, definitely. These laps get clicked down in a quick hurry, and that's a big thing of these races. It's a very mental game as well. You got to keep your cool out there on the racetrack. You got to keep your mind in it at all times, not only about what's in front of you or what's coming up behind you in the rear view mirror, but as you said, it could be simple things about when to go, when not to go. The laps that are left and everything else. As these laps can get clicked off in a quick hurry. In 125 laps, you can lose your focus in a quick hurry out there on the racetrack.
Obviously, that's what I did tonight. I mean, I swear to you, I thought we was at like lap 100, 105, and next thing I knew, my spotter said 2 to go, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's a tough break right there, especially having a good car and a strong race here for you, and being only 8 seconds back there, 9 seconds back of our race leader and Lon Franks, trying to hunt them down late in the race. Honestly, if you would have gave yourself that extra 5-10 laps, you might have had a good opportunity, especially with Dakota having the right rear tire failure, Lon having some issues there as well. You could have easily picked up a few spots there and maybe picked up the win here this evening.
Well, if I just hadn't been spun out 3 times, I think I'd have probably won, but it's 2 weeks in a row. Lappers and stuff have cost us. But it's part of it. You gotta live with it and go on,
Absolutely, it's the name of the game, but still a great run and a great performance here. Parker then 34 right up here in position number 3 and up on the front straightaway. Dustin, who would you like to thank for another great run and strong performance here this evening?
First and foremost, I gotta thank you, Aaron, for always doing a great job, being a supporter of the league, and we appreciate you. Gotta thank my wife and my little girl for always putting up with me being out here and getting to spend time with the guys and put on the leagues and stuff. Gotta thank all my Throttle Down Motorsports teammates for sticking around, supporting us, helping with the league, and just everything we do as a team. We got a pretty good, strong group, and I really appreciate those guys. Gotta thank WB Creative Designs and Mr. Wade. He always keeps us looking good. We got some new hot rods I'm trying to be patient and save them for the next Monday Night All Stars, but we'll see how good that works out. I always love changing cars, so. And then I got give a shout out to Precision Auto Body and Racing for Randy, my buddy, on the back of the car. That race will be coming up before we know it. Here come in June. So I'm going to start working on the details for that. Anybody interested in running in that will be probably make a new Discord for it and get that stuff in the works. I think that's it.
Well, Dustin, a great run and a great drive here for you. Coming home in position number 3. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Monday, and hopefully a couple spots better. We'll see you up here in Victory Lane after a couple tough weeks, but still a couple good finishes here, battling for that points championship here in this one, and obviously coming home with another third-place run. Got to feel good about that, and, looking forward to the future here with the series and, the next big race next Monday, trying to stretch out that lead of the points or taking the lead away here is, obviously you, Jacob Stefanski, and Tyler Jackson all right there together, close again here. So the points are going to be very, very tight, and things are going to get very interesting week after week after week when drivers are starting to run out of time to try to move themselves up into that points lead for the championship.
I think Tyler's got 23-point lead on me, and then Chris Peters would be 1 point behind me. And then it's William and Dakota as a top 5, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, next week, I don't know. I might try a different little strategy, Aaron. I might go balls deep, balls to the wall the whole time and see how that plays out for us. It sucks when you're saving and saving and saving and you're running the bottom, middle of the track, whatever, and guys that's already laps down come in there and spin you out. It just sucks. But it's part of it, and hopefully these guys can learn and not be spinning you out when you're trying to save. Because honestly, I think when that happens, it kills your tires. Like, you're saving, and then all of a sudden you get spun. So your tires get spun all the way around, and it happened 3 times. So I don't know how good my tires were, but it wasn't from lack of effort.
Absolutely. Definitely not a lack of effort out there in this one, but Dustin, congratulations on the 3rd place run, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Monday.
Yes, sir, Aaron. Have a good evening, buddy.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Dustin Benton, as Dustin coming home there in position number 3. A great run and a great drive there out of the 34 riders. We're going to get ready. We're going to pull in our 4th place finisher here, as I do believe iRacing says that is enough of this server and wants to kick us out here. As that's interesting. Okay, yep, we're good. Okay, yep, race control says scoring has ended. Yes, it has definitely ended. Yeah, we'll save that. We can take some photos for the boys here as we will get up into the booth here in just a second. We'll jump up into the booth and give you guys a good look at Jackie Whaley coming home in position number 4 on the racetrack. Let's jump up into this scene and see if we can stretch this bad boy out. Oh, God. There we go. Perfect. There we go. All right, we're going to jump up into the booth here. We're going to pull in our 4th place finisher, the number 720 ride of Jackie Whaley. Is Jackie coming home here in position number 4? We're going to pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Jackie, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jackie, my boy, a good run and a good race here in this one, man. Take us back through this race. As we saw a lot of up and down racing here all evening long for a lot of different drivers. And we see you and Tyler Jackson, early on in this race in conserve mode. You jump down to the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to keep your cars pointing in the right direction here, trying to save those tires. And, later on throughout this race, we see Tyler going down a lap there from our race leaders, and obviously them starting to run into issues. You guys are able to work yourself back onto the lead lap, but it was about 20 laps left to go. We're looking through the leaderboard, and we see you and T-Jack, still on the outside of the top 10 looking in, and drivers really hadn't started having tire issues yet. We haven't really seen a lot of drivers spinning around by themselves or those tire blowouts happening until about those final 15, 10 laps out there on the racetrack. And then all of a sudden, you and T-Jack just started to click them off and work yourselves up inside the top 5 there and trying to hunt down our race leaders late in this race.
Yeah, I've never run one of these, and I just thought it'd be interesting to run one. And at the beginning of the race, I was like, I'm gonna follow Tyler. He's won too. Why not? But I did. I conserved tires for most of the race, and towards the end, it still felt like I had tires, so I was able to pick up the pace and just keep my nose clean throughout the night, and it just worked out for me.
Absolutely, definitely worked out for you as you bring the 720 ride home with a solid top 4 run here, and a very close call. If this was 5-10 more laps later, it could have been a completely different story here as you and T-Jack were working yourself up through the field there, obviously trying to hunt down Dustin and Lon and Dakota there late in this race. We saw Lon having that tire failure, and he was sliding back into quick hurry. Lon was running pretty hard there for quite a while, so I'm not sure how good his tires were there at the end. Same with Dustin, where you and T-Jack were playing a lot more conservative for a lot longer than what we saw Dustin and Lon throughout this race.
Yeah, but with 10 to go, it come over the radio that I had a right front that was getting ready to blow.
Oof.
So I had to really back off of it. I didn't know if it would or not, but I had to back off with like 10 or so to go. I had to really back off, so I didn't have nothing for the leaders. So, but like I said, it worked out. It was fun. First time doing it. I had a blast, man.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about. As long as you had a good time and some fun out there on the racetrack, Jackie, a great run and a strong performance here for you. Who would you like to thank here this evening for such a good run?
I'd like to thank all my teammates back at DWR, JD Trucking and Landscaping Supply, iRace and iFlag, Even One Graphics, BCR Sim Products, 304 Roots, Hammerheads Leather, and last but not least, you for putting on the broadcast. You do a hell of a job.
I appreciate you, Jackie, coming in and showing the love here and coming in and having a great race and a great run here on the evening, a 4th place finish, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully back up there on the racetrack next Monday, and maybe we'll see you right back up here on the broadcast booth, maybe a couple spots better and up in victory lane yourself.
Yeah, hopefully, but it's just, man, it's like 10:30 and I got to get up and go to work tomorrow. I don't know. Well, I had a blast, so I'll probably be back next week.
All right, sounds good, Jackie. Enjoy the rest
All
of the
right,
evening and get yourself some rest.
All right, man, we'll see you.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our 4th place finisher, Jackie Whaley. Is Whaley coming home there in position number 4? A solid run, a solid race right there for that number 720 ride. As my boy Dakota Pratt coming in with the like on the stream, Johnny Nolan, Black Phoenix, all coming in showing the love with the reactions as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here this evening as the racing has been concluded. Post-race interviews have came to a close, and man, that was a lot of fun. Some great racing action, a lot of back and forth, and a huge congratulations again to Dakota Proud coming home with the win here in this one, and a very, very exciting race all evening long, and very exciting right down to those final seconds on the racetrack where we finally saw Dakota head across that start finish line, inching ahead of that 10 machine of Lon Franks as Franks was trying to hunt him down, and he was coming in a quick hurry, just unfortunately ran out of time. But man, a great race, a great run, and a strong performance here by each and every one of these drivers. I thank you guys all for tuning in, everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every one of you, any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers over on YouTube. Welcome to the PeaceMaker family, welcome to the PeaceMaker crew, and I will see you guys all back here tomorrow around 8:20 Eastern time as we got the HCK Beagles going back to battle tomorrow evening, as I do believe it's their final race before the playoffs get underway for the HCK Beagles. So things are going to be pretty crazy in that one. We're going to see a lot of drivers trying to work themselves into the playoffs, a lot of drivers trying to stay in those playoff positions, and we can see some craziness unfold tomorrow evening in the HCK Beagles Truck Series. But thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see you guys all back here in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! What a run, what a race, and what a show.